Good morning, movers. Welcome, 300X Academy. Hey, listen, Ernest Pena here. I want to share a couple of things with you guys. One of the things that 300X lives and breathes during its training is we teach on how to create value as a mover, as a company. That's one of our biggest things is creating value. What are you giving that separates you from the other companies? What are you giving that separates you as a mover that would attract customers and keep customers coming back, keep drivers coming back? So I want to share with you something that happened several months ago. I was called out on a job to help a driver, and it was a 4-man crew. It was helping a driver to deliver, I think it was about 10,000 pounds. Technically, I was the fourth man, right? I guess one of the guys didn't show up, and so I got the phone call to help the driver. All the details I was given was that the driver was going to pay $250, and we were going to an apartment, and there was possibly a small extra stop at a mini storage. So I arrived, parameters were set, there was enough manpower, driver was coming out of the side of the trailer. So we had a third, I believe it was a fourth floor apartment with an elevator, and the driver started to break things out. We started to run, and immediately the pads started to pile up, started to get into our way. So I jumped up on the trailer and I started folding pads just to make some room and handed stuff down, and then helped here and there as we could break down some stuff, and then ran a few trips, came back, folded some pads while the driver was breaking down things down. And then the driver let it be known that there was going to be 2 stops. No problem. Not a big deal. The guy I was with, they started to complain a little bit, started to hem and haw. And then one of the guys made a comment and asked me, why was I folding pads? And I said, well, it's part of the job. Secondly, they're in the way, so I'm just trying to help out so that we're not having to walk over pads, and the truck needs to be cleaned before we leave to help this driver out. The guys kind of laughed and basically said, we don't get paid to fold pads. And I said, that's all right. I'm not asking you to do it. I get it. If you guys don't want to fold them, no problem. I'll take care of it. So as the guys went off, the driver was like, man, I don't like those guys' attitudes. I said, bro, it's all good. They're a good crew. Not a problem. We'll get you taken care of. I promise you I will not leave here until your trailer's clean. He's like, oh, I'm not asking you to clean my trailer because I don't have any extra money to pay. I said, I'm not charging you extra, but I can't let you leave here with the trailer dirty. He says, why not? I said, because my name is attached to it. I don't want you going to another city, have them open the doors, and they ask you, hey driver, who unloaded your truck? And then you say, oh, this guy Ernie Pena was a part of the crew. I just can't. You bring a trailer, you're bringing money. There's no way that I could allow you to leave with a dirty trailer with my name attached to it. I just can't work that way. It's not right. It's part of the job. We're going to be done with enough time. So we go to the next stop, which is the mini storage. I guess we're dropping about 4,000 pounds there. We get it done, waiting for the driver to do some stuff. I keep folding pads. So there was about 10 pieces that were going to the last stop. I told the driver, hey, if you want to cut these guys loose, you can. He said, no, I want everybody to go. I said, no problem. I'm going to go ahead of you. Make sure you got a clear path. Make sure you can get in and out of the neighborhood. Give me your number and I'll call you and let you know. Make sure that you can get around the neighborhood. And he's like, perfect. So I get over there, sure enough, let him know where he could get in. No hanging wires, no hanging trees. We're all good. So we get over there, and there's about maybe 50 pads to fold. And the guys unload the 6 pieces, help out. I run a couple of pieces with the guys, and the guys run, and then we finish up. I jump up while the driver's signing paperwork, and the guys are standing outside, and they're just starting to haggle a little bit. And they're like, why are you folding pads? And I said, bro, nobody's asking you to fold pads. It's not a big deal. And so they're laughing and they're joking. The driver comes, gets their money. The driver says, hey, man, I can finish those up. I said, no. I said, give me a few minutes. Just let me fold these last 20 pads you got. He's like, all right. So sure enough, I fold the last 20 pads. After the last 2 pads, there's a table leg underneath, and there's a bar and some sort of like curtain rod or bar that goes to the shipment. And then there was another item, I think it was a small blower or something like that was underneath all the pads. And I told the driver, I said, bro, here's another reason that I fold pads. You would have had to ship those things. You would have had to call the customer. I said, here's 3 items. We ran them into the house. Lo and behold, the customer was like, oh man, thank you. Customer gave me a $60 tip, and then the driver turned around and said, hey man, here's another $80, bro. You didn't have to do all that. I said, bro, I'm not asking you for more money. He's like, no, he goes, I didn't like those guys' attitude, and you stayed calm and cool through the whole thing. You had no problem, even with the surprise stop. I said, bro, they're a good crew. He says, well, let me have your number. I said, no, I don't work like that. I said, you need to call the crew leader that you dealt with. If he decides to call me, fine. I said, I don't steal jobs from anybody. I don't do anything like that. He says, well, I appreciate you, what you did for me. He saved me the trouble of having to send those things back. So my point in telling the story is not to make me look like a hero, right? My point in telling the story is mindset. It's a mindset that you have to have, that you create value. That driver's going to go and tell everybody he knows. He's going to go about how he got treated. Drivers want their pads folded. And there's just a lot of mindset. I get it all the time. Oh, it's the driver's job to fold pads. It's the driver's job to fold pads. Hey, listen, if that's your mindset, that's fine. If that's your parameters, that's fine. Not a big deal. All I'm saying is that you need, with the competition that's out there, there's some of these cities, somebody posts a shipment and within 3 minutes, there's 40, 50 people that are responding to the same 8,000 pounds. So what are you doing different? What makes you stand out? How are you adding value to you as a businessman that is attracting people, companies to call you, right? So think about that. This is something that 300X teaches in our training. There's a whole booklet of stuff that we bring to the table that we can teach you guys about adding value. This one is just simple. It's just as simple as, taking the extra time to fold the driver's pads, make sure his trailer's clean, and you guarantee he'll call you the next time, and then he goes and tells all his buddies about what you did for him. You guys have a good day. Be blessed. Remember, think like a businessman. Add value to your business. Have a good day.